What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman, aka All Fires. We're headed into the end of the year, and there's only one Marvel release left on the calendar for 2025, coming this December without an exact release date, the TV show Wonder Man. Now, while we've had a couple of snippets and clips from that show sort of put together in montages, we still don't have the first official trailer or release date. But today we got a huge update, as we now know when the trailer is going to drop. Marvel Studios is going to milk one last first look out of it before they release it to the public. We also have some details on the trailer, and again, what's coming for Marvel's last release in 2025. We're breaking it all down, this latest update, and when we're finally getting the first Wonder Man official teaser trailer. But first, if you could grab the subscribe button. We do daily Marvel content at the channel. That's all we do. If you're into that kind of thing, hit the sub button, leave a comment down below. Thanks to everyone who's been subbing lately and helped grow the channel. If you haven't already, I just kindly invite you to do so. It's the number one thing you can do to support us. Plus, you got to be a sub to be entered for the giveaways. Stick around at the end of the video. We get into all the giveaway stuff again there. So this weekend is New York Comic-Con, and while Marvel has a ton of panels and presentations for their comics, they also have some from Marvel Studios, which includes a Marvel TV panel this weekend on Saturday. Now, that panel goes live at 1:30 p.m. in the afternoon. That's 10:30 on the West Coast, and it's being reported that the first trailer for Wonder Man will be shown during that panel. Now, it's not always the case that these first looks are then immediately aired on YouTube afterwards, but Marvel has set a precedent of doing that, especially when it's the next project up. So I think it's pretty warranted in asserting that as soon as they cash in that first look during the panel, it'll immediately drop on YouTube afterwards. They've done this with Marvel and Star Wars a million times, especially again when it's the next project up. So be expecting the Wonder Man trailer on this Saturday afternoon, probably mid-afternoon if you're on the West Coast, and I'm guessing that the panel's about an hour, so at latest it should be up by about 2:30 p.m. And to further corroborate this, we were already expecting an announcement of some kind about the Wonder Man trailer independent of New York Comic-Con, and in fact, in the last 48 hours and from two separate sources, we've gotten reports on the runtime. It's going to be close to about 2 minutes, which is typical for Marvel in a first look, and it's also pretty typical to start hearing details about how long a trailer length is and before it drops. This is all signs pointing to we get the Wonder Man trailer this weekend, and of course, we'll do a full Easter egg breakdown just as soon as we can get it live at the channel that afternoon. Now, in the meantime, Marvel also has to speed up their marketing on this, because if you've missed it, by all reports, we're actually going to get into the Avengers Doomsday marketing at the end of the year, and Marvel Studios definitely wants to cash in on whatever attention is going to be paid to that, since they're releasing the TV show in December. December's reportedly when we're getting the first trailer attached to the next Avatar installment at the box office. There's a lot of reasons why now would be the time to kick up with a couple of trailers, because once the Doomsday starts, it's going to be very hard to compete for the attention that's going to be driven to that project. And in fact, if they were smart, anything they're going to market, Spider-Man Brand New Day included, they're going to steer in the direction of hyping up Doomsday as well, just to try to have everything eat off each other. But the reason I bring this up is I will be very curious to see whether or not Wonder Man has any direct ties to the Avengers Doomsday plot or any of the movie stuff at all, or B, will even see Wonder Man as a part of the Doomsday or Secret Wars plot. Obviously, during the final battle of Secret Wars, anybody and everybody could show up to battle, but that doesn't mean that they're going to have dialogue and be a part of the main story. And the new directive from Marvel Studios, in order to not have fans have to do homework, is to have a line, indelible or not, drawn between the Marvel television productions and the movies, so one doesn't depend on the other, and you can go see a movie at the box office without having missed enormous plot points because you didn't watch a TV show. Now, depending on when the timelines match up for the production, and they held on to Wonder Man for quite some time, you could consider it the last relic of the old regime when Bob Chapek was greenlighting every single thing under the sun. That's why I'm not real sure what to expect out of this show, and more subsequently, I'm not sure they're going to have any ties to Avengers Doomsday or the Multiverse or Secret Wars at all. Now, conversely, they said all this and then immediately are putting Jon Bernthal's Punisher, and by some reports Daredevil, into Spider-Man Brand New Day, and it's supposed to be a continuation of what happens in Daredevil Season 2. So, on some level, they say they're separating the two. On the other, they know that Marvel fans are going to keep up with a lot of the mainstream TV shows like Daredevil, and by a lot of reports, this Wonder Man TV show is said to be absolutely amazing. Some people with early reports are saying it's one of Marvel's best yet. And while we won't get into any of the sort of pre-reporting about how good the show is or early reviews just yet, because there's only a couple that are out there, the details in them are scarce, the pre-screeners and people being able to give their reactions are right around the corner anyway. Still, the preliminary reports, with a grain of salt, are super positive. Now, this has been said before, and again, when it comes to Marvel television, I've been snake bit too many times to go into something completely optimistic that it's going to be amazing. It's, say, cautiously optimistic at best, probably a little bit of trepidation added into that. But for Wonder Man, and I think for a lot of the fans right now, we're just eager to see the first trailer so that we can sort of form that initial opinion before we get to the show. Now, I've seen people already pointing to the fact that we're only 2 months out. They haven't dropped the official first trailer, and that must mean that the show sucks. I don't think that's true at all, because there's two things at work here. Number one, they did a huge marketing campaign for Marvel Zombies. I know it didn't feel like it, but it was their second biggest animated rollout behind X-Men 97, reportedly bigger than any of the seasons of What If, and while it certainly didn't feel like that to me, they definitely wanted to focus on that first and then get into Wonder Man, and it is not atypical in the last 2 or 3 years for them to hold a trailer to this late. In fact, other projects like Werewolf by Night didn't get their first trailer until a month before the show went live. And not that the conversation ever really steers into this side of the marketing or analytics when it comes to media, but as far as the oversaturation with the amount of competition out there now, especially for the serialized TV show format on a subscription service like Disney Plus, there's simply so much competition out there right now that the marketing cycles for these things don't last as long as they did. It's a waste of money. There's no point in putting a Wonder Man trailer out 6 months before the TV show drops, because whatever you sink into marketing will just evaporate. That's why they're holding them this long. It is not a sign that the show is bad, but we can just sort of hold that conversation for another 3 or 4 days until we get the first trailer. You guys let me know, though, all your thoughts down below. Are you hyped for this TV show? And do you agree with me that we may find this TV show does not connect in any way to the next big event, Avengers Doomsday, which might be a missed opportunity, but also, let's be fair, it's a lot to do in a TV show. I'm all ears. As always, quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. All right, still giving away PS5s. We just gave one away for Marvel Zombies. The next one is for Wonder Man in a couple of months. We'll also do some giveaways throughout the holiday season. Super simple. All you got to do, be a sub, leave a comment, because it's truly random. The more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. The best way to keep up with the content has always been to hit the notification bell with all notifications turned on. And as always, if you like today's video, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit the like button. My name's Michael Roman. Find me on Instagram and Twitter at IamFires. Find me on all platforms with original music under the name All Fires, like the song you're hearing in the background. And while I would sincerely appreciate you checking my music out, thanks for checking this channel out. Stick around. We'll be posting again real soon.